Hi, this is Tiffanie. We help women and families build wealth, travel, and live richer. So today we're talking with Mocha Moselle, and I'm going to bring her on so we can hear more about her story.
Hi
Hi,
everyone. Hello, hello, hello. How you doing?
good. How are you?
I am lovely. I'm lovely. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for chatting with us. So, why don't we start by you telling us about your channel and what kind of content you have and what you post over there.
Okay, so I'm Mocha. I've been a YouTuber, I guess, I don't know, maybe about like 4 years now.
Mhm.
And I've been on YouTube, but I never really started making videos until um I started my probably like just before a little bit before I relocated and I left America. I kind of started like just documenting my process, like my reasons why I was wanting to leave. And I probably even got like a garden video or something on there. I don't know. It was just like completely random, but basically it was for me and just like trekking like my process and my experience leaving America and moving to Jamaica. So that's been the basis of my channel. Now I help other people do it, among other things, and kind of other things have branched off since that. But that was the initial concept of my channel. And yeah, now it's been years later.
So, what part of Jamaica are you in?
Right now, I am in the beautiful Blue Mountains of Jamaica. I'm right outside of Kingston, probably like maybe 15, 20 minutes outside of
Okay.
the Kingston area.
Okay.
And the Kingston area is where I've been. I've been mostly in Kingston. Initially, when I first came, I was in Montego Bay.
Okay.
Then I came to Kingston. I spent a few months in Spanish Town while I was trying to figure out somewhere to live. But the majority of my time has been in Kingston or like within the vicinity of Kingston.
So, what made you pick Kingston when you were doing your research of where to go? Or what
Uh,
made you pick Jamaica, actually? What made you pick, like, the country?
well, what made me pick the country? So initially, when I first started, even just teetering with the idea of leaving America, for me, it was really important for me to be in a predominantly black country. Like that was like what I wanted. So of course, like at first I was like, I'm going to Africa. And then I was like, that's a far stretch from my family. Plane tickets is expensive. Any event that I ever needed to, hurry back home or something, that would be hours and hours of plane rides. And then I was thinking Mexico, but I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I have the capacity to learn a new language right now. And it's too many other people there that I'm trying to get away from. I would know I will see them a lot and often. So I was like, I've been to Jamaica before. That's a predominantly black country. We kind of are similar in culture where I'm from. I'm from the South.
Uh-huh,
We're not too. It wasn't too much of a culture shock or like a big, something that I felt like I would kind of be like lost in a pond in.
uh-huh.
So that's why I decided on Jamaica. Um, that's for the majority of the reasons. I feel like it was probably like more culturally aligned with who I was from and what my experience was. So that's why I decided on Jamaica.
So you're not Jamaican, you don't have a Jamaican. So how do you find the dialect there? Like, is it
Um
easy?
it's been, I've had I've been here for a while now, and it wasn't too hard, but I'm not gonna say it was like easy because it's like it's your ears are getting like adjusted to like people speaking differently. And even though they speak English, you still like that's not like an immediate connection,
Yeah.
right? Because it's still they're speaking it in their dialect the same way as a Southern person. I would speak English in my dialect, so it's like you will have those similarities, but it's still like I had to just like really start buckling down and just trying, listen like really hard to kind of like grasp. And for me, it's like more so something like the sentence structures and how like, the pronouns get rearranged and she went for he and he went for she. And I'm like, who went for who? Because it's like some of the like the pronouns arrangements and stuff like that. That would catch me up a little bit. But for the most part, like I'm getting it now. Like I'm still, getting in the habit of speaking it more, but I can pick up on it rather easily, more so than others. And like they have different variations of patois out here. They have like that strong, like Super Saiyan patois that you gonna have to like. It's really specific to certain communities, and then you have some people out here who speak English like they
Yeah.
born and raised in America, and they'll be correcting me on my English. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So, for the most part, it wasn't that big of a hurdle, but it's still something that you want to invest time and energy and learning how to understand and even communicate, and just don't assume that they speak English that it's gonna be like really just easy to pick up on things.
Yeah, my family is from Jamaica. My cultural background is Jamaican. So even I grew up with patois. My mom, my dad, my aunts, my uncles, my grandparents, everybody patois. But even when I go back there, I'm still like, "Mhm. Can you
It,
say that
it,
slower, please, one more time? Okay, yes, Mhm.
it doesn't help because like people will come up to me having full blown conversations. I'm like, baby, I don't know what you're talking about. It's like, it's not, I can again now it's getting better, but at first I was like, what? Yeah. Well,
So is there an expat community there in Jamaica like there is in like Mexico?
so when I first came out here, I started along with some other people, started a expat community. It's Black Expats Repats in Jamaica. It's on Facebook. It started on Facebook.
Mhm,
I had since established like a private community outside of Facebook.
mhm.
So we have a private community, and then we have like a section of it that's still on Facebook. Um, so it's there, and of course, it's like there are expat communities like in Jamaica, but we wanted something that was specific for Black people that were coming like to Jamaica. Even though we're coming to a Black country, it's still like some things you just need to familiarize yourself with even as Black people. And then a lot of us still have that reason for wanting to come. Like if you go into a traditional, well, not traditional, if you go into an expat group that's not Black focused and it's in Jamaica, they're not going to have those same racial understandings that you would, if you were coming with Black people. Like most of the people in there, well, some of them, they know I'm coming because I'm trying to get out of America, not because I'm trying to come lay up on the beach. And well, not that that's an issue, but there's different reasonings behind it, and you want to
Mhm.
still have like those people that have that same level of understanding when you come in to places. So we started that community, and so it's there, Black Expats and Repats in Jamaica. And the private community is berjamaica.mn.co. So those two spaces are there.
How many members are in either one?
So last time I checked, I think in the Facebook space, it's probably I know it was over 2,500 people. I think
Wow.
it might have increased since then.
Uh-huh.
Um, in the private community, it's probably like a few hundred, and it's like it's a membership type community, and it's really kind of like to help those who like want like actual like help, like as opposed to the Facebook community, people who are just in there, they may kind of just be trying to fill out, and see if this is somewhere I want to go. Some of them may just be in there to be nosy. We don't know, but the membership space is for those like I want help. I want clear, direct, assistance with my relocation process.
Right.
That's who it's for. So it's like a paid tier, and it's a free version of it as well. But it's more like just like a chat space. But we have those who want that help. There's a paid version of it, and then the Facebook community is kind of just it's a private community, but it's still open. If you send your requests and all that stuff. So probably in conjunction with both of them, probably maybe like about 3,000 people. I'm thinking. Um,
Are those people who are living there, like expats who are living there, or are there people who want to move? like from the
So
question?
it's a blend of both. So like the expat space, there was a lot of expats in there.
Mhm.
And again, we had like a lot of people who kind of just, you're scoping out, you're doing your research. You may not, be certain, and they're just kind of in there perusing around. They maybe have not left yet, or they, some of them probably are there and they don't have any intention on living in Jamaica long term, but they're still there. A lot of people, will kind of just gravitate towards the group, even though we say time and time again, it's for people who want actual help. But I don't know. They want to be in there. They want to be in the know. So I would say it's like a blend of both. Probably more so those who are still looking as opposed to those who've actually made the transition. Because that would probably be like a smaller portion of the people who actually have made the transition in the group, as opposed to those who are just kind of just, let me see what's going on. Let me see if I actually want to be in Jamaica.
Yeah.
So
So, were there other countries that you considered outside of Jamaica, like Bahamas, Barbados, Trinidad?
if I could be honest, now again, like it's been years later, I was definitely called to Jamaica. It was like I had an energetic pull towards Jamaica. I didn't understand at the time. I guess it's what they call astrocartography or something like that. We kind of like, I was looking for, other places, but even when I came here, like I was like, well, that's it. I'm here. Like I'm home. Like
Yeah.
I don't really have a desire to live anywhere else. Of course, like I considered other places when I was researching, but now that I've been here, I was like, okay, now I understand why I'm out here now. And it's definitely, been for multiple reasons, but it was definitely like an energetic pull. Um, and again, I'm thinking like, oh, I'm gonna move to Jamaica. I'm like, you think you're just doing stuff on a whim. And they're like, no, you wasn't. We're called out here for a reason. Yeah, so I never really like outside of Africa. Not really. I didn't entertain anywhere else seriously. So West Africa primarily, I was probably considering. I plan to still just go there and spend some time eventually, but I don't have the desire to really like kind of just go anywhere else.
Hmm.
So
So, my mom joined. Hi, Mom.
hi,
She
what
wanted to know.
going? Yes,
She
mommy.
wanted to know what was the deciding factor for moving to Jamaica.
Um, so for I know like a lot because it was a lot of black people here. Like, that's my reason. Like honestly, like so I have to add this context because I grew up in Mississippi. I grew up in the South. I grew up in like these racially tense places, right?
Yeah.
That was my upbringing. That was my experience. So when I got the chance, I was like, I want to go somewhere it was mostly people who look like me there, and I don't have to have, those experiences. Not to say, things aren't here, but that was my primary reason for deciding on it. And like I said, it's still in proximity to America. I can get there easily if I need to. Food wise, we're not that different. I remember I was making some red beans and rice or something. That's like a southern dish, or maybe people from New Orleans or something would be familiar with that. And it's like somebody who was like, "Oh, you making stew peas?" I'm like, "No, these is red beans and rice." But see, it's like we still have like those like cultural like similarities that it's like I wouldn't be too scared to, or just like again feel like a fish out of water. Like I felt like out of place or something like that. So that was a deciding factor for me, and everything like just kind of just synced up when I got here. Everything just kind of lined up for me. So like at the time, like I said, I thought I was just doing stuff on a whim, but like being here over time, it's like okay, now I see what was going on. But yeah.
She asked, do you now understand patois, the native dialect?
I understand it much better. Um, and I'll speak it, sometimes when I'm out and about, I'll speak it, right? It'll kind of take people a little while longer to pick up and like, oh, she ain't from here. Yeah, I understand it a lot more like deeply now, like as opposed to when I first came. Like, some people they be patient with me, and even though they get annoyed because they have to switch to their English, and I'm like, I'm sorry, but and I tell stop doing that. Like, let me learn. Like, I can't learn how to speak the language if you're not speaking it. You're trying to accommodate like my American ears. Like, I need to learn. So it's like, yeah, over time, like, and I just get more comfortable with talking to people. It just becomes easier to, exchange conversation.
So you are in is it Blue Ridge Mountains?
Oh, just Blue Mountains.
Blue
Blue
Mountains.
Mountains. Yeah.
So my mom wants to know if you feel safe.
I do. I feel very safe up here. I mean, for the most part, I feel safe. I've never really had like one of those experiences where it's like I felt like, and it's like I also kind of like stay to myself a lot, so that might be why. But up here, is safe. It's quiet. It's peaceful. It's like the scenery is beautiful. It's like really majestic looking. It's mountainous, so I feel safe. And for the most part, like, it's just, again, me getting comfortable with my surroundings. I've never really felt unsafe out here, but like that's me and my experience. And I can't speak for everybody, but for me, it's never been like I felt like unsafe. For me, it would just kind of be like I would be maybe like confused or like didn't know like what was going on and stuff like that. But I haven't like ever been like in fear for the most part.
So So my mom wants to know. So I gotta put some context. My mom is Jamaican, but she
Mhm.
left Jamaica in the 80s. So it may not be the same place that she remembers or that she heard about. That's like somebody who left New York in the 80s. And we come back and we're like, is it still a lot of crime? Is it still crack everywhere? Are they still getting robbed? Because when I left, people was getting robbed. So it's like,
I know, and it's like I come a lot of people like when I first was started years ago when I was first even just conceptualizing the idea that the crime and all this other stuff, and again it's like I'm a Black person in America and I'm like, what y'all talking about? Like it's this idea that these things only exist out here in Jamaica, and I'm like, I exhibit the same sense that I would anywhere that I'm going. I'm like, it's places in America. I'm like, y'all. Yeah, it ain't that bad. Like,
yeah.
I promise. But yeah, I get that a lot. And it's like I do understand it because it's like if you've been in a particular environment for a while and that's like the only environment that you've experienced, it may be hard for you to conceptualize that like that may only be that particular environment or that community or something like that. And people have their reasons for leaving. So I try not to dismiss that, but I also am like, I mean, the way y'all's talking is like you think like America is just like milk, gold, honey, or something like that. I mean, I get it, but I'm gonna need you to be careful too when you going over there,
Yeah.
right?
So
Yeah. So
my mom wanted to know if you have ventured into Kingston, but you said you lived in Kingston, right?
yeah, that's where I've been like most of the time. Like the majority of my time, I've been in Kingston. I've lived in Duhaney Park. I've lived in not too far from Half a Tree. Um, Like, I've kinda just been all over the place. I lived in Spanish Town, and, Spanish Town has a horrible reputation. Like, I've been, like, all over the place, so, yeah, I've been a lot of places. Kingston is I would say, is probably, like, my stomping ground. I've been in Jamaica for over 4 years now. Over
Wait,
4 years. I first got introduced to the mountains, like, last year, and then I had to leave, because there was, like, a situation with the housing I was staying at, and so I just moved back up into the mountains probably, like, a few months ago. So, I've primarily been in Kingston.
okay, we have a question from Real Recognize Real. Did you know anybody before you moved out there?
No, so I got on Facebook and I got in one of those expat groups. I said, "Is anybody in Jamaica?" And I had one person say, "I'm here." And then I connected with her and started talking. And she was the only person that I knew when I came out here, and she kind of like helped me when I first came. She let me come stay with her for like a month. This was in Montego Bay, and then after that, I was in Kingston, and that's where I've been ever since. I didn't know anybody at the time. No.
What was the visa process like as an American going to Jamaica? Like, do you have, I know Mexico, you have like a travel visa for 6 months and then you just got to leave every 6 months or so. So, what's it like in Jamaica?
So when I first came, I was on a travel visa. So I was here, and you get like a period of 90 days where you can stay on a travel visa. You then have to go to the immigration office, which is PICA, and apply for an additional 90 days. So for probably like about 6 months, or about 180 days, I was on a tourist visa. Um, I knew that I wanted to be in Jamaica, and I wanted to live in Jamaica, and I wanted residency in Jamaica. So I wasn't really, and I wanted to like, cause make money in Jamaica. Like I wanted to be here, right? So during that time when I was on the tourist visa, I started the process of like trying to learn about the work permit, and I was applying for the work permit process. And so I did the self-employed work permit. So basically I established a business. Um, and I'm using it as my residency process. So that's what I did. So for that first time frame I was there, I used that time to get myself sorted out with a work permit. I typically don't do the back and forth thing unless I just have to travel, but that's not like my method, like coming and going. And even then, like at some point they're gonna catch on to that, because why are you out here so much? Where's your money coming from? Who you staying with? Like they're starting to look at those things, and you might run into problems, you know, like I've seen and heard happening for people. So I don't really do the back and forth thing. I knew I wanted to live here, so I just went ahead and tried to figure out how can I establish roots here long term. And then I'm hoping for this year I can apply for permanent residency, because then I would have been on my work permit visa for like about 3 years. So yeah.
How long is the work permit visa?
So this is going to depend on you and how much time they want to grant you. So um, the first time I applied, they granted me 2 years
Oh,
on the
awesome.
work permit visa. And like I
Okay.
said, it's gonna vary. I think they give you I think the most they'll probably give you at one time is 3 years. I don't know. Um, so the first time they gave me 2 years, and then I had to go and reapply, and they gave me another year. So right now it's again like I'm just going through the process, because I have to apply for permanent residency and see if I get approved for that. I don't have it yet, but you have to apply for it while you have some type of residency visa here. And you have to been here for at a minimum of 3 years uh, for you to even go through that process.
Okay, we have another question. Do you have any native friends? Did you make friends there?
I have friends. Like I don't have people that I hang out with like constantly.
Mhm.
I have people like that I know and that I can communicate with, and that have been helpful for me like throughout my process here. Um, so I guess you can have like native friends. Like, yeah, I have people like that I would consider friends, and that like I've gotten to know since I've been out here. But you probably not gonna see me going out partying with people or hanging out with, if that's the type of stuff you talk about, like, because I be in the bed. It's like, but I am trying to like just venture out more and like hopefully meet new people. But I have like some people who have been like very helpful for me, and like they've been, yeah.
So tell us about the cost of living. Like, how much is rent, utilities, internet, food, groceries?
Okay, so this is going to be relative. So because I've been Kingston and Montego Bay are probably the most expensive rent wise,
Hmm.
and because these are more city, they're more populous areas as opposed to rural areas. Um, Depending on who you know, depending on how you're going through the process and all the other type of stuff. Right now, where I'm at, I'm in like an apartment complex. I'm in what they call the penthouse or whatever. I don't know. Um Housing can be kind of difficult out here, because it's like it's not like wherever you're watching. I don't know. If you're in America, sometimes you can go to like a apartment complex. You can put in an application and stuff like that. Like out here, it's like mostly everything is privately owned. You have to like connect with that individual owner. You have to go through a realtor in most cases, especially if you're like somebody new. You're probably gonna have to end up going through a realtor because you don't know the lay of the land that well to be like, just trying to. You probably don't know enough people at the time, right? Initially. So at one point I was able to ask, do you know anywhere available for rent? And somebody would direct me somewhere. I didn't have that at first. So at one point, I think the first apartment that I had in Kingston was like $800 a month. The one I'm in now is like $1,000 a month. A place I was staying in before was like $300 a month.
Oh, wow.
It's just on the bed, like, but that was like also it wasn't like so. This was in Spanish Town. I was paying that, and then when I was living further up in the mountains, like away, like more rural areas, is going to be probably like less cheaper. I was also paying like maybe like $300 a month. So it's gonna depend. Like again, if you're in like more the city, the more popular areas, it's gonna be more expensive. Um, Transportation, the thing. So Kingston and Montego Bay. Well, I don't know about Montego Bay, but Kingston definitely has like more of a easier public transportation system to navigate with. So you don't necessarily need a car. Um, Again, if you're going out more rural, you probably will at some point want to get a car because it's kind of hard to get around. If you don't have a vehicle out in some of the rural areas, food. If you're buying like a lot of foreign stuff, a lot of imported stuff, be prepared to pay a lot. If you're eating locally, it's probably gonna be like less expensive. Um, so all these things are gonna kind of like just contribute into like the cost of living. Um, Internet, I probably pay. I just got some new internet service. I want to say it's probably like $30 a month. Um, so it's just gonna. I don't know. So if you're in Kingston, expect to pay more money. If you're like outside of Kingston, it's probably more affordable for living.
So you would say all of your living expenses under $2,000 a month
Yeah.
with food? Do you
Yeah.
eat out a lot or do you mostly cook?
Previously I did eat out a lot, but because I'm in the mountains,
Oh,
girl, you better I eat more at home now. Um so like you can run up a tab with food, like if you eat out a lot and stuff out here. And then I just started to like some of the places again because they're so foreign centered and like they're, cooking like, different type of things that the tab will go up. And if it's like you're going like to those restaurants and stuff, it's just gonna be more expensive. So like for me right now, it's just more economical to eat at home. And not even because necessarily like I just want to all the time. I'm like, I'm over it. Like I'm over like the whole, foodie scene. Like I just wanna fry up stuff at the house, be done with it. So um if that's the lifestyle that you want, again, be prepared to pay that. But I mean, it's definitely out there and available, for you. Like I did all the things, right? I've been here long enough. Like I tried all the restaurants I wanted to try and all the other stuff. I'm like, okay, I'm good. I don't really have like that desire as much um when I did now. So it's easy for me to just throw something together, just eat at home. I find it now because it's like, whatever. So yeah.
Hutchinson says, not bad, very good living. So you came there with nothing, but you didn't ship your furniture or anything like that. So did you get that from markets or how did you furnish these apartments or did they come furnished?
No, I don't. I didn't have anything furnished except when somebody was like kind of like lending me like a place to stay. For the most part, none of the apartments that I have been furnished. Um, yeah, I will go to the markets. I will go to like furniture stores or whatever. For the most part, that's how I furnish. When I first came, I had like a few suitcases. That was it really. And then I just kind of some stuff I had shipped over like when I was here for a while, which I recommend. Like sometimes you been here for a while and you can't really find what it is that you want. Then you might go through the process of like let me see if I can ship some stuff over. But for the most part, I would just go to the markets. I used to be so proud of myself because I would go downtown by myself and I would like negotiate and other stuff. And then I pull out my card. They're like, "Oh, you're firing?" I'm like, "Yeah." So yeah, it was all of this stuff was like a learning experience for me. Like I liked it. I like, going and, learning how to just maneuver like locally. And again, people like, don't do that, you're by yourself. But I was like, child, I'm gonna go out here and see, like I liked getting that experience. And that's how you just learn. Cause how else, I mean, I know people who maybe they're married or something to somebody out here and they've never been like just out like by themselves. Like they have to have supervision at all times. And I'm like, it's like you kind of like, I don't know, I feel like you miss out on like that experience for the most part.
Mhm.
Like I know how to go to the market if I want to go. I know how to, shop around and look and, get what I need to get. I feel like otherwise you just kind of, I don't know. I don't know. That's just me. But I know how to maneuver and I know how to get around. I know what taxis to take. I know, what buses to take. I know how to get around if I need to get around. So that experience for me was like it's very educational. So it's like yeah.
So Nika says hi. I hope I said that right. And then we have Hutchinson in Albany, New York, and he says very expensive to rent. A one bedroom is $1,400.
Oh,
And
and that's cold.
that is one of the benefits of moving to somewhere like Jamaica. So tell us about the healthcare. So I think people worry about things like this, like what happens if you got to go to the doctor, or like how does that work? Is there travel insurance, or do you just pay out of pocket? What do you do?
So, honestly, if you can manage, I think you'll probably be fair. You will fare well if you're somebody who has like a lot of medical issues and stuff like that. You might want to try and get some insurance. I did have like they have like some nomad insurances now. I did have those
Mhm.
at one point. I don't really use them now. I have insurance now through my business. But when I first, was out here, I tried to use the nomad insurance. I didn't really like it because you still have to pay out of pocket and hope that they reimburse you if you use nomad insurance. So that's an option. But you probably, and I find this in a lot of countries, you probably would fare well just paying out of pocket. Like it's not like unless you're going for like something major. Like I paid out of pocket before, and it wasn't like horrible. Like I don't think I spent like over $100 paying out of pocket for like going to the doctor or something like that in medical services. Um, and then it's also I don't think a lot of people realize like you just being over there might just be making you sick. Like I had like a lot of I want not like a lot of medical issues, but I had underlying things that would like cause like just reoccurring stuff, and particularly with inflammation, right? And so when I left America, like a lot of that stuff is just attributed to you being over there. It's like, so if you ever like have a chance to just kind of like just get out and just like rest your body and like, you know, um, some people, go and they get to all the fresh food, all that stuff like that. That's your body is not having to fight as much and like that's a big, thing that people aren't considering. It's like you talking about healthcare, you might need to consider the reason you need healthcare so bad is because you're over there, right? Not, again, some people have like major health issues and things like that. And that's, things you need to consider. But for me, like when I left, like a lot of stuff just, I didn't have the same issues anymore. Like I don't even think I've been to the doctor that much since I've been over here. And it's for something like, um, I don't think I've really been sick too much. I think the last time I went to the doctor because I had like a hernia. And that's because I was like trying to lift weights or something. I messed myself up. But I haven't like been like I'm constantly sick and have to go to the doctor all the time. In the time that I've been here, I probably only been to the doctor maybe like once or I would say maybe like twice. I've probably been to the doctor. And I didn't pay that much. So those are things to consider like healthcare wise. Um, but You can they have different options for, you can get some through your employer. And again, it's like I know some places like offer like nomad insurance. Some companies in America may offer you international travel insurance and stuff like that. I didn't have any of that. Like I said, I have it now and I just don't use it. I'm not needing to be that like persistent with like healthcare stuff because it's like my body is not as under much stress.
Right.
Um, you have access to fresher food. Not to say that I have like this peachy clean diet or anything like that, but you have more access to like more locally like produced things, more healthier. You have a much more variety of options food wise. Like a lot of stuff I had never seen or heard of until I came out here. I had never seen a breadfruit. I was like, what is this? I had never seen was it the Otaheite apples? Like I had never seen this stuff, right? And I was like, wow, like, and I was so amazed with the
Yeah.
breadfruit because I was like, you can do everything with this. You can make chips, you can you can roast it, you can fry it, you can do.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this is amazing. I had never, we don't have like all this. Not where I'm from anyway. We didn't have all this variation of things. We didn't have all these different fruits. I never had a mango till I came out of here.
Wow.
I may have had mango flavored things, but I never had like the actual, you know what I'm saying? I'm
The
like,
real mango. Yeah.
y'all got all this stuff growing and you could just walk and just pick it off the tree. I was like, oh man, I ain't going nowhere. Y'all tripping. It's like, especially like even like up in the mountains in the country, like fruit is just falling on the ground. Like it's just everywhere. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like,
Yeah. So Eileen says hi. Paulette says, really? I don't know what that's for, but it's probably the mango. Like you never had a mango. And
yeah,
then,
it's like we're really deprived of a lot of things. And again, unless you're in like one of those areas that has like a heavy Caribbean population, that's another thing, it's like maybe in Florida, I would have, had more access to these things or like New York or somewhere. But it's like the rest of us is like we have our local things like collard greens and stuff like that. But it's like we're not getting all these variations of stuff like I got out here.
yeah. So Real says the stress also contributes to people going to the doctor more. Uh, Nakia wants to know the time you went to the hospital or the doctor for the hernia. What was that like?
Um, it was kind of like typical standard procedure. I went to the doctor. She scheduled me some like what's the X-ray scans and stuff like that, and they scheduled me like some appointments with the surgeon. I didn't go through with it because I was like, I don't know if I want to like. It wasn't anything that was like detrimental to me, and I was like, maybe if I kind of like just. I'm not telling you to do this, but this was just me. But like it was like kind of like typical standard procedure. Like I went to the doctor, they gave me some tests, I had to go get scanned and all this other type of stuff. Um, and I did pay for those things out of pocket. Now, like those things will probably like rack up a little bit more. Like the doctor's appointment alone probably won't cost you that much. But of course, like if you're going through like those, um, you getting going to do the testing and stuff like that, there's going to be additional costs. But even still, like it wouldn't be astronomical like it was like if you were paying out of pocket out of states. It's not going to be thousands and thousands of dollars. Like I want to say probably like in total that stuff was maybe like a few hundred, like with everything together. Um,
What about the facilities? What was the facilities like? Were they
um,
modern? Did you feel like you were in any other healthcare facility?
yeah, and I was also going to private doctors too. So I know that's like something, different, like sort of I never been to the public hospital, public doctor for one, because I hear it's like it's gonna be a lot of people there. It's like, and I try to avoid crowds and long lines as much as possible. But for the most part, they were clean, nice, tidy. The doctor staff was like very helpful, very nice. Um, I can't say I've had any negative experiences really too much. And again, this is going to vary. So like the doctor's appointments and doctors, like they were like nice, this kind of standard. Now the surgery places that I was like kind of um inquiring with, I did go to them, and it's like it felt kind of like congested because I don't know like how many like surgery like offices they have out here. Because like again, like for certain things, because it's like they don't have as much of it. It may be like more of a demand and like more like crowded and more congested. That I was like, I don't know. But for the most part, like everything else was kind of like seamless.
So yeah, Nika said she recently had an ultrasound, and her out-of-pocket cost was $300 with insurance. These insurance companies are just crazy nowadays.
Yeah, it's a hot mess.
The monthly cost, the premium, I think it is the premium cost, and then the out-of-pocket cost is ridiculous. But I did want to ask you, because you mentioned public facilities. In Jamaica, the public facilities are free.
Yeah, I think for the most part. Now, I don't know if you're supposed to have any type of like local documentation or stuff like that. I don't know. I've never been. I have local documentation. I just never been. And also, like I said, I have not had to visit the doctor like as much. And like I remember the same thing. Like when people complain about the health system out here, I'm like, I don't know, because I'm like, again, I'm from Mississippi. I'm from rural areas. We just kind of neglect it. And I remember like most of the time I would go to the doctor. We'll be sitting there for hours. We'll probably see the doctor for like 15 minutes. Did not get any help. I never really got any help. It was just like, here, take these pills, do this, here's some cream. Like it completely pointless. And you still have to pay this exorbitant amount of money for nothing. And I'm like, and like I said, like once I left, even those things that I was going to like the doctor for, it's a lot of it is inflammation and stress. It's the food and it's like the living environments. It's like once I left that, I haven't really, anytime I went to the doctor, it was for something like, pressing or like immediate, or, I felt that at the time. But yeah, it was, for me, it was useless. So I'm like, yeah.
The time in a US doctor's office is the most frustrating part. It's like, why do I have to sit in the waiting room for an hour before going into the little office to sit in the little room?
Yes, again, another hour.
Right? I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, I remember this often. It's like every time I would have that experience, I would not get any help. I would not get any help. No one was actually trying to see like what the issue was. It's like, here's something temporary, like get out my face, basically. And again, it's like, I don't know. Like, and again, you get billed a few $100s for nothing. Like I never really got any help for the stuff that I was dealing with. And like again, like now that I know, I was like, okay, I was dealing with like stress, I was dealing with inflammation in my body. I don't have those things happening, my body is like relieved, my body can chill, my body can rest, my body don't have to like fight trying to keep it like, and I was like, okay, like it was America. That's what it was. So yeah, I'm like, yeah, you might go just go and spend some time outside of America and see how your body feels. Like at the very least, give your body that opportunity to be like, oh, thank you, thank goodness. Like,
yes.
give your body that chance and just see, but I don't know.
So Miss Butler says hi. Hi, thank you for joining us. Nika wanted to know if you ever tried oil down, which is boiled breadfruit in coconut milk.
You mean rundown, or is it rundown? I've had rundown, if that's what you mean. I haven't had oil down. I've had a lot of rundown. I had veggie rundown. I had mackerel rundown. I love rundown. I was looking up some recipes recently on how to make it. I don't know what oil down is. I don't know if you're trying to say rundown, but
So I saw one of your videos. Oh, okay. She said in Trinidad it's called oil down.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, I had it then. Yeah. Okay. So now I know if I go to Trinidad what that is. I can order it right. Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's rundown. I'm here.
So I saw one of your videos that you bought a car. I think you are so brave because I live in Florida and I'm from New York. I barely drive in New York. Whenever I go to Jamaica, absolutely not. Like I'm not driving. They be on the side of a cliff. You be hanging off the cliff like this. Like I'm about to die. This is it. This is it right now. This is the moment that I'm about to die. I see it right there. That's
That was my aunt recently, because my aunt just came right here. And I was saying, "Oh, you want to go up the mountain?" You know, because I was like, "Oh, let's go look at the mountain." She was terrified. She was
cannot
like,
drive out there. You bought a car. You are brave.
"Yeah, I took driving lessons because I was scared." Okay, especially like in Kingston, like I was used to taking the taxis. I was like, "That's Fast and Furious." I was like, "That's literally it." Like, if you ever want to feel like you in a Fast and Furious movie, just come out here and take a taxi in Jamaica. So I was like, let me take some driving classes, because I was like, at some point, again, like I'm living here, I'm gonna have to learn how to drive. Like it's just, I was like, I'm just gonna have to chuck it up to the game. But once I started driving on my own, the experience was like way different. Like it's not, I mean, you still like have you when you're it's different when you're in the Fast and Furious as opposed to you like watching the Fast and Furious. Like you see the taxi man coming, like whatever. But yeah, I took some driving lessons. I took some classes, and it's like now, like of course, like I'm much more comfortable driving, and I just, it's much easier now. But like at first, I was like, oh my gosh. I had those moments often where I was like, oh, this is it. And it wasn't even going up the mountains. It's just like
This is it.
in Kingston traffic. Like, oh my gosh.
This is
Like, yeah.
it. I came to Jamaica and this is it.
Yeah, I was like, it's a
She says the rundown is the bomb with fish, and she loves it.
mm-hmm.
Real recognize real want to know how much were your driving lessons?
Oh, child, that was a while ago. I think it was like $100. I'm just assuming because I don't think I paid much for them. I think I took it for like I don't know how long I took classes for. Maybe like I think probably like 2 weeks or so, and then I had to go take the driving test. Um, so it wasn't. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I didn't pay much because if it was expensive, I probably wouldn't have did it. But I don't remember. That was a few years ago. I'm sorry. I can. It was Grinnell's Driving School or somewhere. Like it's like a professional driving company. Like they teach driving. So
Yeah, my mom said it would take her quite some time to get accustomed to driving on the right side of the road. I mean, that's another thing, just driving on the opposite side. You have to constantly remind yourself to stay over here, like stay. And then when you're doing turns, you're like, I got to stay over here.
yeah, yeah. More like when I go home and I drive, like that's when I get confused because like I done got comfortable driving over here. So when I go home, I gotta be like, am I on the right side of the road? Like, and
Right.
then it's like the steering wheel is on the opposite side. Um, yeah, so
So did
it
you
takes like a little minute to like kind of
adjust?
recalibrate, but yeah.
Did you move to Jamaica with a job? Because I know you say you started a business, but when you first moved, did you have a job that you were remote? Did you took with you?
So yeah, I want to say before the pandemic hit, like I started teaching English online. It was like a little side money or something, and I was like, I want to start making money online because like at some point I was trying to figure out how to earn income without physically being anywhere. That was my goal. And so I had got this job teaching English online. It was part time. It paid like $20 an hour, and I would do it in the morning and sometime like in the evening. So when the pandemic hit and everything closed down, I still had my little teaching English job because it was completely online. And I was like, well, that's all like everything kind of like just lined up for me because I was like, I got income. I don't have to be physically anywhere to do it as long as I got my computer. I was like, I'm finna get out of here. I'm finna make my escape. And that's like, as soon as they open those borders back up, I was like, oh, goodbye. So I had like little part-time work when I first came. And then I started the business, and then I started doing consulting and stuff like that. I don't teach English online anymore. I work I'm like a virtual assistant now. And then like I'm always like looking for online things to do. Like I would never, I don't think I would want to either ever work at a physical location unless it's my own business. Um, but yeah, it's like that's the world we're kind of like moving towards now, or that we're already in. So I was like, I just fixate anything that I'm trying to do to where I could be completely remote and I don't have to be anywhere to do it. Like that's, you know.
So what is your business that you started?
So I started Black Expats and Repats in Jamaica,
Okay.
which is like it's more like it's consulting, and I help people with that out here. I have a few businesses registered out here actually. Um, I have a sanctuary healing house, where I was. So I had like before, again, a few years ago, well, a few years before I came out here, I was like making like wellness products and selling them, and like bags and purses and stuff or whatever. So I was like, that's what I have my residency. I have my residency with the Sanctuary Healing House. And I was doing like Airbnb and stuff like that with it. Like it was just completely like whatever I could do something with, that's what I was doing. So I was doing like I had like temporary housing. So when I was staying like down in Kingston, like if people wanted to come and stay with me while they get sorted out, I had that set up. Um I was like, I would go vend some of my products at some of the little market things and stuff like that. It was kind of like, just random things. It was, a way for me to kind of like get my residency and get my papers. And like, it's not something that I'm like heavily doing, but it's like, it's been, little bits and pieces along the way. And then I have another company that's not like really active too much at right now, but it's like we're setting up relocation tours, so people can kind of come and get like a feel for
Mhm.
different areas and things like that, and kind of like do what they need to do to handle their business and come out here. That's what we're working on next. So those are the things that I'm doing here on the ground. Anything else I'm doing is like online, or I'm like, helping somebody with their businesses or whatever it is, whatever the case may be. So I'm all over the place. Like I don't have like whatever. Yeah.
Yes, multiple streams. That's the goal. So, did you move there with savings?
I did have some money saved up. How much I had, it wasn't a whole lot. I'm trying to think. It's been, oh gosh, it was years ago. I had a few thousand saved up. I did move here with savings. Um, But like I said, it wasn't enough to be like balling out of control with. So I had like a cushion, and I had like a nest egg. Um so yeah, I did I would say I don't it was a few thousand. It wasn't I don't think it was over 5,000. So I had that, and I had my little online work I was doing, and then I would hustle up whatever anything else I could on the side. So
Okay, so for the people who are just joining or who are came in a little bit after, this is Mocha Moselle. She's on YouTube, and you can follow her at Mocha Moselle. That's her handle there, where she does videos on life in Jamaica. She's from Mississippi. She moved to Jamaica 4 years ago. So tell us, how has your quality of life improved as a result of moving to Jamaica?
oh man, like I don't know, like, most of the times I'm just kinda sitting here in amazement, like, "Wow, like, how did I even end up here?" Because it's like, yeah, everything is kinda just, um, like I said, it's just not been much less stress for me, not to say, of course, because I say things for me and people be like, "Oh, this, Jamaica is this and is that." It's like, I'm not saying, like, that's the case for everybody. Like, for me, it's been, like, just not having to do that, like, whole, like, American rise and grind foolishness and like devote my life, like, you know, to things that are unfulfilling and make me it don't bring me any source of happiness. Just fresher quality living, fresher food, fresher all those things. Like again, it's like in America, you probably just don't notice it. You don't know how like all these things are impacting you and like how it can be really detrimental to your health. Like we don't know. I didn't know at the time. Like for me, it took again me leaving to like start like connecting these dots. It's like, oh, like that ain't it. That America is not where it's at. And again, like, people get all like, ah, whatever. Like for me, it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
It's like for me, it's just such easier living. I love like the slow days and like I love the random days. And like I used to love like how I would go out on the road. I didn't know what was gonna happen that day. It would be completely I'll end up some adventure somewhere. I don't know. Like so for me it's just been like full circle. It's been just like a really great experience, much better quality of life. And so I'm really grateful for Jamaica because it's like I would have never it's just a place that like I just really mesh with. Like if it kind of like I just kind of like melted in and everything just kind of worked out. So and that was being my experience. And then like I tell people if that's you know, if that's not what you're feeling, that's probably not the place for you. Like a lot of us are feeling called, you know, and feeling drawn to like go out of the country. And it's like a lot of people are not understanding that and they think, you know, if America is great for you, that's fine. Like now that I've been out, I get stressed just thinking about going back over there. I was like, I do not want to go back over there. Even though sometimes I have to, it's like I just don't want to. But yeah, for me, Jamaica is like it's been really like life changing. So I'm really grateful for the opportunity to have even be able to come out here and just live. So that I'm grateful for.
So, how is the culture in your opinion? Because I'm Jamaican, you know, my parents are Jamaican, and I go over there, and it's like sometimes it can feel really aggressive, the culture, and sometimes it's like really laid back. Like I went to a KFC, I swear to you, it took like 45 minutes. It took like 45 minutes for one order. It wasn't like I was ordering for 20 people. It was just one order. It took 40.
So that's why I was like stuff like that. I don't eat out as much anymore because I'm like I'm over that. Like I'm not gonna be standing. I don't want to wait an hour for no chicken. Like you know what I'm saying? I'm like that's just so like that. That's why I'm like that part is like whatever. Okay, I've had you know it's fine. Um Yeah, I just kinda like anything that, like, just take an exorbitant amount of time, I'm probably not gonna really just go there anymore. I mean, I still go there on occasion, especially, like, if they just open and ain't no line there yet. Might go. Or when it's about to rain and don't nobody wanna be outside when it's raining,
Yeah.
then I go. Like, I'm very strategic with my KLC appointments. Uh Yeah, some stuff can be so that's why I was like, it really kind of like just depends on you and your vibe. Like some like Kingston, some areas is gonna be more aggressive. Some areas is gonna become it's really just kind of like just depends. And so it's like that's why I tell people you're gonna have these different each parish kind of has like its own vibe, like its own, you know, thing. And so um it kind of just depends on your vibe. Like you're gonna have that aggression and you're gonna have like where it's like really laid back. And so again for me, this is not because I from like these environments where you have like some areas are more like aggressive, some are more chill. Uh it really all just kind of depends on your mind state and your like mentality and just like you being open and observant, right? So it's like for me, like first time I was here, I'm getting all these dings right now. I'm sorry. I was just really just open and observant, right? Because I'm like, I'm learning, like I'm absorbing things, like I'm, you know, seeing, you know, what I like, what I don't like. That's gonna be an important part of the expat experience because a lot of us, you know, go places and we just we're not opening and we're not learning and we're not like trying to get like understanding. We just like jump ahead, first. And if you are expecting, things to operate a certain way, then you might get disappointed. Whereas I'm not saying that it should operate slow, but I know I'm not gonna go there. I'm gonna go somewhere else. Like, it's like that's the type of stuff I just take into consideration. Or I have like, again, like I'm like, okay, if I am out early enough and like they just open, ain't that many cars there yet, then I'll go to KLC. It's like I'm not finna. If I see the line wrapped around the building, I'm not going. Like it's, it just kind of, it's just kind of like, you kind of just got to get a feel for things and what you like. And for me, it's been kind of like, again, I just take the pieces, that mesh with me and I, leave what doesn't. And that's, how I shape my experiences out here.
So Jay has been a follower of yours from day one, and he just subscribed.
Hey,
Thank you.
hey. That was years ago. Been in the trenches. Been with me in the trenches.
So have you experienced any racism since you've been there? And if not racism, then have you experienced any, I don't know what to call it, but maybe like discrimination because you're American, which could be somebody trying to take advantage of you economically, like overcharge you.
I've had that experience. Not often, but I've had that experience. And for me, it was okay. So I think maybe like once or twice. I haven't, like I said, for the most part, I try and blend in. In the event that I don't, and it's like again now, this was probably like early on. I may have had like an encounter with a taxi man, and he charged me double the fare. And I'm like, I'm looking at it, I'm like, dude, I mean, the taxi fare is like $1. Like, if he charged me $2, am I gonna be mad? Like Uber in America costs what, like $15-$20? Like, I don't know. I kind of like just take your dollar. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever. I haven't had like any like blatant like um she's American. Like let me see if I can take advantage of her. And like even then, if I feel and if I sense that energy, I just go on about my business. Like I just don't. I wrap that little portion of that up, and it's unfortunate, but it's like what can I do about it really except like learn to go where I'm more, I feel like I won't have the experience, or it's like I don't care if they do it or not. And it's like, I don't know. It's like what I had the same complaint if I was like going to Europe or, somewhere. It's like I'm not gonna stress myself out about this extra dollar like this person has charged me for. And like I said, I haven't had many of those experiences, maybe like once or twice. And I try and stay at like out of those like populated like areas as well. And so that's another thing is like I really like try to stay like out of those like heavy like tourist areas, because like that's prone to happen. Like that's at tourist areas, anywhere you go in the world, you're gonna be charged more because you're a tourist. And so it's why I just really try to stay local, try to learn how to maneuver. And, you talk to people, and a lot of it's just listening and observing. You see how much stuff costs. And it's like, so if you know better and somebody's trying to charge you something else, then it's like, oh, I just say, okay, well, no, thank you. And then I go, it's like, it's really that simple. Like, I don't make like a deal out of it. I don't let it impact my experience here. Anything. Now the the gender thing now is something else. I would probably say that's been like probably like the most prominent that I've observed since I've been out here. Some very interesting dynamics. Yeah, I'm like, ooh, okay. That's been the most like I'm like, okay, oh wow. That I've noticed. Not that I've like experienced it too much, but I've definitely noticed like the gender dynamics out here are really perplexing. Not perplexing, but they can be different. Yeah.
So, what do you mean? Like they expect you to have a male companion around some point, or they
Oh
actually
gosh,
feel
I
you're
cannot. I literally cannot go anywhere outside by myself without somebody. It's like it's this. I must have a husband, or I must have a man. Like I went to go get some water yesterday, and I had dropped the bottle and it busted open. It was like, why your husband didn't pick up the bottle for you? I'm like, I ain't got no husband. Why not? You're so sweet and nice. I'm like, I don't know. Like, just, can I have my water? It's like you must have. It's like they don't even ask. They just gonna assume. They're like, where is the male person? Where's the male person that's supposed to be accompanying you everywhere? I'm like, it's just me. Like that's it. That's all I got. Um, yeah, it's kind of funny. Yeah.
so yes, so not many or any racism experiences there. No.
No, not that I've. Let me see. I'm trying to make sure I'm not like just pushing stuff in the back of my mind. Um, I haven't had like no, because
Yeah.
again, it's like for the most part, I haven't. Well, I don't know. Let me get some clarification. So by race, do you mean like from non-black people, or do you mean like nationality wise, like me being American, or you just mean like
Race, not necessarily ethnicity.
no, I don't really I'm not really around them much, so I it's like that's why I came out here to kind of get away from it. Like um I don't see them that much that often. And again, it's like because I made it a point to kind of stay out of like those areas that they frequent. It's been smooth sailing for the most part in that regard. Um,
So I've heard expats say whenever they do experience racism in the country where they're living is not from the locals.
oh yeah,
So
it's
to be
probably
like,
not going to be now. Like I said, I've been seeing online and stuff like that. I'm seeing those things happen more out here in Jamaica, and it's typically from like maybe a Jamaican is living in a particular area, and again, it might be where a lot of expats, non-black expats, gravitate towards, and they're not accustomed to seeing them there in a non-working capacity. And so they'll do the same things like, "Are you from here? Do you live here?" That same stuff. I haven't seen it, but I have been seeing it online, and it's like, I mean, I'll be trying to warn people, but they don't be they don't want to listen. Like, yeah, because for the most part, I feel like they haven't experienced white people in that capacity, or they haven't experienced them. And they come on vacation, they happy go lucky. Their experience with white people for the most part has been very condensed, and they don't know the full. That's why we're trying to warn them. They think we're being angry and like bitter. Oh, no, we don't have no race problems over here. I had a lady on my comment section the other day. We don't have no race problems in Jamaica. I'm like, girl, but it's like they haven't experienced them in that capacity. So they may not have, as much framework to pull from as we have, but it's like they coming. They're probably here already. They're in their communities and they're in there. They're here. It's here. You probably just haven't encountered it yet, or like it's been a very like brief, like something. Whereas opposed we've had to live and breathe and work and be in proximity with these people for centuries now. Um, yeah, so it probably will, be seeing more of that happening, especially like with them. I've seen a lot of videos with them being mad at Jamaicans for playing their music and coming out and taking out their sound systems. Like it's coming. And it's like they just think, oh, this American thing. Like, no, it's not. Like, okay, one of many people, y'all finna see what that is. y'all keep playing. Y'all gonna be
Okay,
this
that's
way.
interesting. I never thought about that. But I can see it. No, when you say it, I believe you. I can see it. I just never thought about
Yeah, I'm
it.
seeing it become like more and more of an occurrence, right? And it's like I've seen some of my folks too come over here and they, take on that American mentality, right? Like, and it's like I also so because like a lot of people experience Jamaica through tourism, they have the idea that, oh, this is, the island, or this is how Jamaica is for me, the tourist to come. And I'm like, that's that particular area. It's a whole island of people. They got their own lives. They ain't waiting on you to come over there to wait on you hand and foot. Like it's really like a psyche thing that I feel like um tourism can kind of like take on this negative form if people aren't careful. But yeah, I've seen it like just especially as they kind of like move out here more and stuff like that, and they they're in their communities and they expect to see people who look like them in their communities, even out in a predominantly Black country, even somewhere like Jamaica or wherever. You'll see anywhere you go, you'll see that, right? So it's like I don't know.
Okay, we have
Or
Janet, one of your followers, Janet, that says that she's been following you and now she's following me. Thank you. So, has it been challenging to keep in touch with your friends and family from the US? Do they come visit or do you video chat? How does that work?
I got I think my internet went out for a second. Were you asking about family if they were coming? Okay.
Mhm.
Um my family has been here once. They came and now they're planning on coming. They said they're not coming until it's mango season. Anyways, so they're planning on coming again. Family has come. I had an aunt who just left. Um, so I've been here for 4 years. I've only had like family come over here once or twice. And I think they're planning on making it more like, of a reoccurring thing. But for the most part, it's like just typical video chat or whatever. We're in our group threads and all those things. So the communication is still, and it's like even because I hopped around anyway, I would have been somewhere where that would have been the case anyway. I just happen to be overseas now. So
How do you make friends in Jamaica? Like, is it through Meetup or like how do you make friends?
this is, I mean, Jamaicans are friendly. I mean, I feel like you just go outside and, I've been ambushed a few times. Like people come and talk to us, and I'm like, and for me, it's like, because I don't want to say I'm an introvert. I don't know. For the most part, like I just really like people can sometimes be energetically draining for me. So mostly I don't go out seeking, things. If I come across somebody and we kind of like connect or whatever, that's fine. But I do, go out and I go experience things. And I'm like, if you're looking to make, friends or somebody you can like be in constant contact with and hanging out with, you want to go and do those things that you would typically do wherever you at, right? So I go to art museums or, whatever it is that you're interested in. They probably have that community, out here in Jamaica. You just got to find it. I think they have like those meetups and stuff out of here. But for the most part, I just go outside. Like I go walking at the park and stuff like that. And at some point, if you do it enough, people are gonna start gravitating towards you. Um I remember I was like, I'm just walking and this group of ladies came and was like, come play tennis with us. And I was like, okay, like I didn't have a choice. So well, you'll, just again, just be out and about and just go do the things that you typically do and just kind of like gravitate towards, people, if there's something you like are ambitiously trying to do it. Like you are said, like I want to make friends and so come out and just do the things. Again, do it as you would do it locally, right? They got like they got roller skating rinks out here now and they got all kinds of stuff. Like just go out and do those things, and just again take what resonates and leave what doesn't. So right. Cause like like a lot of people come and they have a negative experience, and like that was that one time. Like, just keep going and keep experiencing things. You'll eventually find your people, right? So
Yeah. So my mom says there's nothing wrong with being an introvert coming from the president. She's quite to herself.
yeah, yeah, and it's like well, I don't know. I kind of so when people do come out here, I'm like, how am I going to entertain these folks? Because I don't be doing nothing like that, really, except like my like I'll if I go walk around downtown, usually if I'm running like an errand or something, and I was like, I'll just use that time to go and do something. Like I'm not making like a concentrated effort, or I'll go walk and look at the murals, or go to a museum or something. Um, so, I mean, if that's like something that's important to you, I mean, I would just start there. Just go out and do the things that you typically would do. And like just like learn and observe. Like I just feel like a lot, like especially like when in a new environment, like you just want to kind of like get a feel for things first instead of just like for some people that works, right? Like they just go ahead first. But I'm like, you want to get a feel for how like people, communicate and how they, engage with each other and stuff like that before you go putting, oh, I'm from America and all this other stuff, like, and thinking that's like, I don't know. They think, they want to come and let everybody know they're American, and that's supposed to be like a magic wand or something. I don't know. I'm from America. It's like they're probably seen a bunch of Americans. I don't know, like what you're, it's like try not to lead with that type of stuff. Like just like learn and observe first, and then lead with, what will gravitate best in that space or will function, well for you in that space. I don't know. That's me. That's my advice.
Okay, so you wake up and it's a Tuesday morning. What does your day look like?
So I'll come up and I'll open the windows. I'm like usually like just sitting and listening to the birds. Yeah, I'm one of them now. Like I'm just, wake up, open the window. Oh, the birds are chirping out my window. I got all this beauty, like all like I write like my bedroom window is like right like on the hillside. So it's like flowers and bush, and I see the little hummingbirds and all the I gotta get some binoculars because I'm like seeing all kinds of stuff out there. I'm like, like that's what it is now. And so I was like, I just listen to the birds. And then I got like a sauna machine now, like a little pop-up sauna, whatever. I do my little sauna steam, and it's like have my tea. I don't know. It's like I'm really boring. And then I'm probably like, if I'm not doing anything work-wise, I'll probably go into town, do a little shopping, go to a grocery store or somewhere, go get some ice cream from Devon House. I don't know. It's just like really random. It's easy peasy, like just taking in all the nature. Sometimes I just go riding up the mountains because it's like they just really beautiful to me. Because I'm like that's especially like when I um, was living way at the top of the mountains and the sun used to rise. Oh my gosh, that was like one of the most magical things. I used to do live streams in the morning. Any of my old heads probably have seen some of the live streams I used to do when the sun was rising. It was so beautiful. So it's like that's my day. Those are my days now for the most part. Like I really am just like I just like to take it all in and just absorb it all now. Sometimes like, again when I'm entertaining people or somebody drag me out the house, I'll go do stuff. But for the most part, I really am just like enjoying like, these steady days of like just peace and just relaxing and whatever I come across and I decide to do in my day, that's what I can do. Like that's what I appreciate also. It's like I don't have to whatever I feel like doing, I'll go do it. If I don't feel like doing anything, I'm sitting in the house. I don't know. Listening to the birds chirp, sitting out on my balcony. And it's like my aunt came and I was like, "You want to go do anything?" I'll go walk in her room and she sleep. Like just
Yeah.
what I'm saying? It's like just really resting and like just I was like, wow, like we really just don't have the opportunity to do that. Like actually, like just sit and be like
Rest.
in ambiance of nature and stuff like that. And just, so I was like, yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
So did you say you have tea? were you a tea drinker before, or is that a result of moving to my mom? You would think the cure to cancer is in these tea bags. My mom is like, no, you have to have tea in the morning. You have to have something hot in your stomach for it just, settle down the stomach. I'm like, it's just tea.
No, they on to something. They on to something. They definitely on to something. Especially if you could get you like some natural tea or something like that. I got some sorrel tea I've been drinking in the morning.
I didn't know they had sorrel tea.
Yeah, right. I was like, me either. I was like, and it's not like the sorrel drink, right? It's just like the regular. They just put the sorrel in the tea bags, you know. And then I got lemongrass tea. Girl, I got all kind of tea now. I got lemongrass. I've been making like a little flaxseed drink. Yeah. And so it's like that type of stuff I've just been enjoying, like honestly. I was not much of a tea drinker. And like most of the times when we do drink tea over there, it's for like people trying to lose weight or something like that. They trying to get some green tea. We have sweet tea down south, but it ain't really. It's more sugar than anything. But it's like they on to something. Yeah, they know what they're doing. Like I got like a little tea collection now. Yeah.
So Janet says you're so laid back and cool and relaxed. That's the Jamaican vibes.
Yeah, I'm like this is it. Like I really, I wake up and like and see all the little birdies flying around and them chirping. They wake me up most of the time. I don't know, it's completely random. Like I don't have a set schedule for my days.
So what is a must try dish in Jamaica?
Must try. So I love stew peas. I love stew peas. I love stew peas. I used to eat the Akin sausage really heavy. Like I said, most of us probably have not experienced that coming from where I'm from. So different, something to experience. Those are my two primary things. If I go out and eat, it's probably like stew peas and Akin sawfish, or I get some rundown. I'm trying to learn how to cook these things myself, so I'm still practicing. But those are the things that I recommend you try, along with all the different variations of fruits and stuff. All the stuff is just new to your taste buds. We just haven't had it. Yeah, we just never had it. So gotta try the mangoes. Gotta try the coconut, fresh coconut. I say try everything. Yeah, you gotta have your tea. Yeah.
So is Jamaica it for you? Do you see yourself moving anywhere else?
I don't plan on being anywhere else. Like I said, I do want to go spend some time like in some other places. But I don't think I want to like live anywhere else like permanently. Or I might kind of do like, I'm sorry, y'all. They just started back with the construction.
Oh, the construction. Okay.
Or maybe kind of do like a buy. I might just be in a few spend some time in Jamaica and spend some time somewhere else. But for the most part, I plan on being here.
Okay, so we'll do one more question and then we'll wrap. Have you tried sorrel as a cold drink?
I've made some sorrel before. Like I've made sorrel. I love sorrel. I had like a sorrel slushy the other day. They got all kinds. They got sorrel ice cream.
What?
Yes.
Okay.
I had like a sorrel like slushy drink, and like I've made sorrel. I've had sorrel. Like I love sorrel. I buy it in the store. This again something I never had before, and yeah, like I was planning on making something for the holiday season, some sorrel, but I never got around to it. I couldn't collect enough orange peels, so I was like, I can make no sorrel right now. But yeah, I love it. Yeah,
My mom makes it every Christmas. She soaks her tea, her hibiscus leaves, and she makes some sorrel for us.
Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't get enough orange peels. I don't know. That's the recipe I'll be following. Anytime I stray from the recipe, girl, they be eating me up online. You're not supposed to do this. You're not supposed to soak it. You're supposed to boil it first. I'm like, I don't know. Like I just found this one little thing. That's what they said to do. And then they start getting into island wars. That's how we do it in Trinidad. That's how we do it in Jamaica. I'm like, I just want some sorrel. That's all I want. You know what? I'm just gonna get it from the store and let that be it. Yeah. But I love the sorrel. Yeah.
So thank you for coming to chat with us. I'm glad that the construction took a little break. They must have went to lunch. They went to lunch and they were like, okay, we're gonna let you talk for a little bit.
We're gonna let you have this one little thing.
Yes.
Okay.
So if anybody has anything else to ask, just put it in the chat. Her YouTube channel is Mocha Moselle, so you can follow her there about life in Jamaica. Oh, my mom says she boils it for 10 minutes and then lets it sit for
Oh,
days.
she likes to ferment. She likes to ferment. Okay. I haven't had it like that before. See, every day I learn something new. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Well, thank you. It was great conversation, especially like as a Jamaican born in the US to hear about an American going to Jamaica.
Yeah, that's what I say. Y'all better come back. Listen, I don't know. I mean, I know like a lot of people, are like in fear, but I'm like, everybody and their mama is coming out here. Y'all better come and get y'all stuff before it's gone.
Oh,
Before it's gone, y'all better come.
yes.
Or at least get your papers, your documentations, or something. Like, come get your stuff before it's gone.
Yes.
Okay. Anyways, but that's just me. But thank you for having me. I'm really appreciative of you inviting me on your channel. Anytime, let me know, and I'll be back again, hopefully.
Yes. We'll have you back. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right. Thanks.
Bye.